All right, good afternoon and welcome everyone to session number 3, The Road to Quality Course Design. My name is Heather Walker and I am the program coordinator for the Digital Higher Education Consortium of Texas. To lead us in their presentation, we welcome Bobby Myatt and Rudy Lopez from the Alamo Colleges district. Dr. Bobby Myatt serves as a faculty development program lead for the Alamo Colleges district. In this capacity, she serves as a District Quality Matters Lead Coordinator and QM Certified Online APP QMR Facilitator. She has a strong background in instructional design, ADA compliance, quality matters, educational research, and is a TXDLA certified specialist. Her bachelor's degree in journalism, coupled with a master's degree in communication studies, enabled her to continue teaching and maintaining a connection to Alamo Colleges learners. Rudy Lopez is an instructional designer team lead with Alamo Colleges Online. He holds a master's degree in education with a concentration in instructional design and technology from West Texas A&M University, and is currently pursuing his doctorate of education of leadership in higher education at St. Edward's. He has completed the Quality Matters APP QMR, the peer review course, the Course Review Manager certification, and is the Quality Matters coordinator for the Alamo Colleges district. And just a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. We do have closed captioning enabled. So if you would like to use closed captioning, please click the CC button on the bottom right of your Zoom screen. And also, if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to drop them in the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen, and we will try to take as many questions as possible at the end of the session. And here are Rudy and Bobby.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Heather, for that warm introduction. Again, thanks for joining us this afternoon. Today, Bobby and I, or Dr. Maya, I should say, and I are going to just provide a brief overview of how our two teams provide collaborative support for our faculty across the 5 colleges at the Alamo Colleges district.
Hey, thank you, Rudy. And I would like to, this is our mission at the Alamo Colleges, and it's empowering our diverse communities for success. And within that mission, we have a set of 6 values that we are committed to in building individual and collective character through following a set of those values. And I just want to briefly tell you those 6 because we have them actually when anybody becomes a part of the Alamo Colleges family, they have to choose one of these values that they will champion. And they are students first, can-do spirit, collaboration, community engaged, respect for all, and data informed. And it is of those foundational values that we work in our 5 college system. Okay, I can't see my screen. Oh, there we go. Okay. The Alamo Colleges district is 5 colleges. They are all independently accredited. So it's very different. I believe we're the only one in the state of Texas that functions this way. Each college has their own president, they have their own hierarchy, and then the district has people in each one of the colleges to liaison between and amongst them. We have over 68,000 enrolled students. We offer over 300 degrees and certificate programs in traditional, online, hybrid, continuing education certifications. And currently we have about 2,000 face-to-face online hybrid faculty teaching across all 5 of our colleges. So we have a lot of moving parts within the Alamo Colleges district, and we service a very wide reach across the region.
Sorry about that, I was muted. Thanks, Bobby. Bobby's right, we have a lot of people we have across the district, so it's very important for our both of our teams and other departments throughout the colleges to really delve into and follow a strategic plan in operating. And what we do is really, we're really data informed, and a lot of our initiatives and opportunities for improvement are based upon data that we collect throughout the year, semester, and whatnot. But one example is a priority of online learners survey that was initiated, or we pulled information from that in 2020. And what we found was that students identified two things that were important and opportunities for improvement. And those two things were consistent online instruction and quality online instruction. And I highlight those two things because those really kind of inform both of our teams, the faculty development department, which Dr. Myatt works in, and Alamo Colleges Online, which I work in. And with that, so we really, we can talk about how we build capacity across the colleges.
Yes, and we do build that capacity. It is an aspect of the team's strategic plan to operate in that data-informed environment. So the way that we do it is in kind of three big buckets. That's the building of the capacity is really the outreach, right? And then the mentoring and the training and support that go with that. We offer monetary incentives, but there are also professional development hours and even hours for continuing education and at our K-12, because we do have a lot of dual credit. We partner with the ISDs within the area, and K-12 has to have so much professional development hours, and some of the things that we offer, they're able to enroll in and get that PD hours on their K-12 transcript, but also on our Alamo Colleges transcript. And what we like to do as we're working together, these two departments specifically, which is faculty development, we fall under us. We just got our name changed, TOSI. It's talent, organization, and strategic innovation. That innovation piece is really our technology, our educational technology, which is where my department falls under. So teaming with Alamo Colleges Online was a no-brainer because we're both measuring really the same types of things. We're looking for the same data points simultaneously. And when we merged ourselves together to work in collaboration, we can expand that capacity. Our reach goes beyond. We're able to not only reach our faculty, our full-time faculty, but our adjunct faculty, our dual credit, our continuing education, our technical fields as well. And the monetary incentives that we have, they're really good for what we are able to do. And I think that I don't see a lot of that occurring across community colleges as much, but we do try to get something in there so that their time is valuable as ours is. And, you know, we want to make sure that they're getting compensation for doing these things to make the more quality courses out there.
Thanks, Bobby. Yeah, so, you know, based on the data, our two teams, we really leverage our assets. And by that, I mean both of our teams and the years of experience and the years of experience working together on different types of initiatives have really allowed us to really support our faculty across the district. And these are a couple of our teams. This is how they are structured.
There we go. This is the faculty development team, and you can see we're small. There's 5 of us. We have a leader, our director, Dr. Carmen Mercedes, and then my counterpart, which is Scott D'Amico. He is also a faculty development program lead, and Dr. Elizabeth Plummer and Casey Estrada function as full-time faculty development specialists. We also have, and Rudy will speak to this as well, because we have the 5 colleges, we have what we call 5 faculty fellows. So there's a faculty fellow at each of the 5 colleges that falls under the faculty professional development, which is our area. So we've got an extra 5 people, including this here. However, those faculty fellows will do the support to the college simultaneously as they're doing the support from within the district and promoting what we're delivering out. Our mission at faculty development is committed to student success, and we provide faculty diverse and innovative professional development opportunities using the most current and emerging instructional methods and technologies. So we're looking at the pedagogy at the same time with the ed tech, and Alamo Colleges Online has a different lens that they're able to look through, because not everybody is teaching online within our department, but the Alamo Colleges Online, they are all in that space. So the combining of the two and doing collaborative work together, we're able to get those perspectives on those specific technologies that are out there and things that are coming through the pipeline where maybe we can't vet it, but they can. So it's a great marriage. The main programs that I focus on as a lead are the online, hybrid, flex, and technology overall. We deliver professional development throughout every week. My assistants in technology and setting up, just like this conference here, I have one tomorrow that we do for our adjuncts, and you'll see the litany list here shortly. But we always build anything from the college need and the faculty need, and using that data that we can get, which we get a lot of data from ACOL, and we're very happy with that. But we're able to discern and kind of parse out what the needs are so that we can always maintain ourselves and not be consistently delivering the same old stuff that probably doesn't work anymore. So we do keep ourselves up to date, and everything that we deliver is applying a QM modeling. So everything that they come into, all of our programs that we offer, they are built within our LMS and they apply the QM model all the way. And I'll go further into that shortly. I'm going to let Rudy speak of his team.
Thanks, Bobby. Yeah, much like the faculty development specialist of Alamo Colleges Online has a team of 5 instructional designers. Each one of our 5 instructional designers is experienced, or they complete both the Quality Matters APPQMR rubric as well as the PRC before we even go out to the colleges. So like I said, each one of us is assigned to support a specific colleges. But when we do that, we also speak as one voice. And the way we do that is we offer a very specific suite of services. And those suite of services consist of one-on-one consultations, which are customizable, group workshops, which are customizable as well. And we offer course reviews. Those are internal course reviews across colleges. One of the biggest things that we do and how we build capacity is to really support our colleges with internal events, community collaborations, and those are anything like convocations, a lot of the internal conferences that faculty development facilitates, national things like digital learning day and national distance learning week. Those are just some of the things and some of the ways that we are consistent in messaging across the 5 colleges and the way we support our faculty on a daily basis. Oh, this is me too, sorry. So we're going to talk about, Bobby and I are going to talk about a couple of the big rocks. These are 2 of our big initiatives that we began. The QM APB QMR internal certification or recertification, and the Quality Matters challenges.
Okay, and I'm going to speak first about the QM APP QMR certification. In 2021, we found that, and I'm sure a lot of colleges found the same situation because we were in COVID and there was there was all remote. And we found a lot of faculty were not versed in any of the pedagogical strategies that you find in that initial Quality Matters APPQMR. So we got all of the vice presidents from each one of the colleges that oversaw student academic success, and we offered this $1,000 annual stipend, and it's parsed out over the entire 24 pay periods, but it's an APPQMR pay. And the way that it was structured by the collaboration of all the 5 vice presidents and the blessing of the chancellor is that they would need to complete the 6th edition. If they had done the 5th, they would have to complete that rubric update, right? They had we built and I collaborated with Alamo Colleges Online because of their extensive QM background to build a refresher course, because this was going to be one of the requirements in there, that each year, unless Quality Matters came out with their 7th edition, they would have to adhere to a refresher course offered via faculty development via our LMS. And of the 601 people that took advantage of that, their first deadline was May the 31st, and we were able to get everybody recertified except for about 150 people. And that's a really big thing, because we didn't even launch the recertification course until October of 2021. And so it was a big push. We got a lot of good, robust feedback from it. And we did use those Quality Matters standards of what they were able to do by the end of that course. It was made out into 3 modules, delivered completely online. And if somebody had, say, done their APPQMR, they would initially submit that to their chair, then they would begin to pay. And if they had been out of it, say, since 2018, they hadn't even looked at it again. When they went into this recertification refresher course that we offered internally, which is a very truncated version of APPQMR, but it hits all the highlights, as you can see, of the objectives that they would have to have at the end of the course. It brought them back into that space, and they were able to recognize those pedagogical strategies that maybe they had forgotten about, such as alignment or utilizing the activities and separating those things. So it was a really, a very robust program put together in a very short time, but through ACOL and FactDev, we were able to get this out. I mean, I'm talking, I think, and Amy's here, and she's from their team as well. I think we turned it around in 2 weeks. We had that course built and QA'd and ADA'd in 2 weeks. So it was a good deal. and it is ongoing and continuing. We're building the next one. It'll roll out this summer, and it'll have the next year's May 31st deadline date.
Right, and then another initiative on the other side, kind of partnering as well, or extending that APPQMR and the standard knowledge. Our team rolled out the Quality Matters challenges, and those 2 challenges that started in the summer of 2020, the Quality Design Challenge and the Course Peer Review Challenge. Now both are separate, but each one of them, faculty members are required to complete a set of deliverables, and within those deliverables, faculty members are required to complete, like in the Quality Design Challenge, they have to complete the APPQMR, while in the Course Peer Review Challenge, they're required to complete the PRC. Now, one thing to mention about these, if they don't complete these certifications, they cannot continue with the challenge. But when they do complete one or both of the challenges, they do receive a monetary stipend. And I do want to mention that Bobby is a facilitator for the APPQMR, and that's really one of the reasons, and a huge reason why we've had a very high completion rate with the Quality Design Challenge, because she goes that extra mile and provides support at all hours of the day, anytime, and just gives a lot of additional support to get our faculty across the finish line and to completing one of the challenges, which really throughout the whole challenge, faculty are learning how to implement the design standards, and they're updating and enhancing their courses so that they have better experience for themselves and more importantly for their students. Another thing that we really focus on is consistency in our capacity building. And because there's so many moving parts and components in either the APPQMR recertification or both of the challenges, we quickly learned that we needed a hub or a source of truth that houses all of our challenge materials, our deliverables, and our communications. Excuse me. So what we've done, and Bobby touched on this, is we facilitate our challenges and our recertifications through our Canvas LMS. Excuse me. And what this allows us to do, really more important for our faculty, it helps us give them consistent information across the 5 colleges. Our teams are spread out, so this is really a great way for us to speak as one, to collect information to a hub where we can all review. Faculty can complete and submit their deliverables. We can send out announcements. We have discussions where faculty can ask questions. We provide feedback on anything faculty submits. We have a central Q&A. We really push our due dates and focus on timelines so that faculty are on track and they don't straggle. I mean, we have, life happens, but we're here to kind of streamline these processes. And more importantly, we have a lot of resources within both of these LMS resources.
Okay, great. Yes, that was a. I know when I first came on board with faculty development, that was kind of a caveat. I've been facilitating for the APPQMR since I worked for UT Systems, so it's been a long time, since the 4th edition. But faculty development teams and the instructional design team, we partner together a lot, as you can see, and the development of those materials based on that QM modeling and what a quality course should look like. If you deliver it in the method that you're wanting and the expectation that you're wanting them to then apply themselves, it's much easier for them to see what it's going to look like. If anybody in here has facilitated an APPQMR ever, one of the running questions is always, well, if you'd show me an example of what my rationale should look like, then I'll be able to do it. And sometimes that's very difficult to do because we're looking many times at different types of LMSs. And when you're in the APPQMR, you're using something that they're not familiar with. So there's not one set example, but I think the way that we've done it and maintaining that consistency is very good. And I want to go to the next slide where that we can show you, this is what faculty development does. And this is what we do annually. These are ongoing all the time. We have approximately 5 large conferences specific to different college needs. One is our APEX, that's the adjunct conference pedagogy, that's based completely on pedagogy and pedagogical strategies. We also have dual credit, which we bring in TEA and THECB to speak about specific areas. FERPA is a really big one that people tend to go to on that one. But that's our list there. We have a big one, EduTech, which is very large, but a lot of these stem from smaller things that were occurring at the colleges. And the district thought, instead of putting that on the college, let's absorb that into the district so that we can develop it and deliver it out to all 5 colleges, so the 5 colleges can concentrate more on their internal faculty and, of course, the number one thing, their students, their learners, because that's really the priority all the time.
Thanks, Bobby. Yeah, much like Bobby's team's events and conferences, our team also kind of aligns with those things and really build upon workshops that are asked by or they come by way of faculty need. They reach out to us, and if a number of faculty continue to ask, then we know that there's a need. So we build different workshops to answer those questions and to fill those gaps. And this is just a list that we've collected over the year and a half, 2 years. And these change, like Bobby said, because we need to keep them relevant. We need to keep them industry standard, and we need to keep them moving. And this is kind of a list of things that we do throughout the semester. I do want to add also that all of our workshops align with our initiatives, like the recertification or the challenges, so that while faculty are participating in, let's say, the quality design challenge on a weekly basis, we have a recurring workshop that's happening, touching on a different topic. And as you can see, some of these topics, while not explicitly saying we're going to cover standard 8 accessibility, we do touch on different types of accessibility issues and topics. Same thing with Tidy Up and You Do It, our internal tools where we help faculty clean up their courses, get rid of old stuff, and then make sure that they're accessible. There's no broken links. You have all your alt tags and things like that. So that's just an example of how we support on a weekly basis and a semester basis and a year basis. So again, that strategic plan is really important when we're planning out our semesters. These take a lot of time. We build these from ground up. We solicit faculty, we collect and we get them registered, and then we perform. And then we collect survey information so we can know what we can do better. Now that brings us to our upcoming initiative, which is kind of a culmination of what we've been doing for the last 2.5 years. And what that is our summer pilot of our quality course certification challenge. Faculty development and ACOL, Alamo Colleges Online, are partnering to kind of close the loop on what we've been doing. We think this is now the time to take the extra step. We want our faculty to gather everything they've learned, everything they've been implementing, talking about, and showcasing into the final step, which is to get our courses certified in the subscriber managed certification. Our goal is to have 5 faculty from each of our 5 colleges, for a total of 25 faculty this summer, to participate in the challenge, which is about 13 weeks, where they work alongside a ID. They have, it's kind of like a running course build, course review. So at the end of let's say 9 weeks, they are ready to submit their courses, where Bobby and I will review and then submit for a subscriber managed certification. So we're really excited about that. I think our teams have really grown over the last 2 years and really begin integrating and working together and aligning for the betterment of our faculty, but more importantly, like Bobby mentioned, our students. So I do want to close with saying that, you know, over the last 2 years, we've really allowed ourselves to create that pathway to course certification, which was the ultimate goal for our faculty in our district. And I think we've all learned, if we all knew it, but I think it's really been showcased, the importance of creating and sustaining trusting relationships between not only our teams, but between our faculty, especially during the foundation when our faculty really needed us the most. We really tried to support as best as possible. Bobby, I think I pretty much summed it up. If you have anything else to add,
I don't have anything else to add. Somebody may want to say, with those, all of our faculty development, our fellows, our entire team have also all gone through and received their peer reviewer. So that's a way that we're going to try to tap in, so that our fellows can actually sit on a peer review team during this quality certification challenge that's running over the summer. So that'll be a really neat way to integrate that.
We are right at time here. We have just a couple minutes left. And we have just a couple questions here in chat, if you don't mind taking those. Linda has asked if the slides will be available, and I know we haven't collected those from you yet, but are y'all fine with sharing those slides?
Yeah, I'll get them ready and upload them to the Hula app.
Excellent, thank you. And a question for Bobby, how do you choose faculty fellows?
Faculty fellows, we actually put out a call on our employment. HR sends it out, and the faculty fellows don't have to be working for the specific college at that time. They don't even have to be working for Alamo Colleges. We will hire them in, and then they will essentially adjunct for whatever college is missing a faculty fellow, and they will be housed at district. And then they have one day that they they go to the college and they're working with them directly, that it's dedicated to them. But throughout the entire time, they're always the college. That's their job. They're straddling between the two, but that's their main focus needs to be on the college and kind of advocating for whatever the college is telling them. So we have a full-on description of the job, and we do mandate that they have to go through APPQMR, PCR, and the facilitator course within the first year of employment. So there are some, there are some things that are in there. Of course, we want them to have at least 5 years teaching in higher education, because faculty tend to take in faculty information from other faculty much better.
Thank you so much to both of you. We are at a little bit past 1:30, so we do need to let everybody go. And really appreciate your presentation today. It was excellent. Thank you so much for joining us, Rudy and Bobby. And we hope to see you at some of the other sessions.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great Friday.
Yes. Happy weekend.